Okay, friends, subscribers, and all you YouTubers, what you are about to see over the next 10 minutes while I talk to you about it is what I believe is an implant that came into my head around about 1999, 2000, just before New Year. I awoke after having I call them abduction dreams, and found a scar on my head. And since then, I've actually found a couple more. But this one had a little bit of a surprise. As you can see in the top left-hand corner, you can see actually the CT scans, all the medical data that can identify me except for my name has been removed. So that just so no one can use it for identity theft. But you can see the implant there. Don't worry about enlarging it, because as you can see, I've done it for you, and it's smack dead centre of the two frontal lobes, and I mean dead centre. That's to me is the reason why. You can notice a little arrow they've stuck on it. This I think this is this is in 2005. This is a 1996 one. As you can see, there's no implant, absolutely no implant in 1996. So it did not appear until the 2003 CT scans. That's right, I was having sinus trouble, and they did the thing, and this actually appeared in the sinus CT scan. And as you can see, it's clearly not normal. It's up in the right hand corner this time, but I've included the full scan so that you can actually see it. That's from the 2003 scan, that one. Now, when I've had all these abduction dreams, I tend to always get a headache prior to them, and 10 to 1, I have the dream within days of getting the severe headaches. Sometimes I get a different type of headache as well when just before it's going to rain. It's more an ache when it's going to rain, but when just before the experience, it's as if there's a thud. I believe it's a locator, so they know where I am when it comes time to take me. Now, that one I actually found in a second pic, which we'll get to in a minute. That little one there is actually a secondary implant. It's in that one at the top right, top left, sorry. You can just see it as that big vein type thing. Just at the end of the big vein is that other secondary one. So I've only actually noticed that tonight when I was doing these images for the scans. And like, if you notice that the white bits coming off it, like the pixelation, I believe there's actually something else to this that comes off it, but it's being pixelized. Unfortunately, you can't see it. The pixelation in the images isn't that good, but there is like that hue around the object. So there's, to me, there's something there at each end of it that is a connecting type thing. I'd say that's the connection. That's where you see the front one and the other one. And notice how there's that vein going straight to it. That's got me as if to sort of say they know exactly where to put these damn things. They've studied us, and I'd say some of the ones that never came back have been sliced and diced, and so they know what goes on in our heads. They've been here for a couple of million years, I suppose, so they'd have definite concept of how our brains work and how our brains, the anatomy of a brain, because 10 to 1 they've taken someone to pieces. But you can definitely see they know exactly where to place these items, and it's a definite placement. It's in a place where it can't really cause any damage. It's just stuck there, stuck right in between the two frontal lobes. And as you could see by the side shot, it's right near where there's either a nerve ending or a blood vessel or something there. As you can see, it's definitely not there in the 1996 CT scan. There's definitely nothing there whatsoever in the 2003 and the 2005. it's clearly visible. And yeah, and that's the 2003. This is sinus X-rays. So basically, you can clearly see that it's there and it's noticeable. And in the 2005, which this one is from, you can see that they've upped the resolution, I think, a bit when they've actually done the study on this, because they've actually been particularly looking at the brain. But the thing that amazes me about the brain is that gap between the two sides is perfectly straight. That's just something that spun me out a little bit. But yeah, so our lobes of the brain, whether it's to connect the two brain parts together, but it was this actual implant that got me into UFO investigation, not just believing, but actually into investigations, where I now run the New South Wales UFO hotline. So people out there, if you do see something, if you ring the New South Wales UFO hotline, you get someone that actually understands what's going on. But the thing is, it's this can happen to anybody, and if you've got proof of something like this, where you found something unusual in a CT scan, let me know. I'd like to actually add it to an archive that I'm keeping. I've got a couple others. I can't use them in these videos because I don't have permission. But the thing is, I believe there's many others out there, because when I had the scan done in 2005, after the first, because there were two scans done in 2005. It was the one where they found it, and again, that was for a sinus operation. There was a secondary scan, is where they've investigated it. Now, the thing, and that's the secondary one as well. Oh no, sorry, that's just a small piece of it, a small view of it from the top. The secondary one's on the tip of that vein. But the thing is, it's something that shocked me when I was talking to the doctor about it, because I said, that can't be right. It's how it's attached to certain nerves, and you can see the nerves are going directly to the damn thing. And the doctors have clearly said, oh no, it's usual, we see hundreds of these. As if to say, like they knew about them, but not to worry about it, because they can't really do that much about it. Because I said, oh, well, can it be taken out or whatever? And they said, no, it's going to cause you no problems and all this. Because I think they truly know that either whether the thing is, but what makes me freak out a little bit is because I'll never have it removed, to the simple fact that if these implants are similar to the ones in Taken, maybe that's why they say they don't want to touch it, because it's not going to cause any problems, because maybe it could. Maybe that movie Taken is based on true events, and from what I've heard, it's supposed to be based on the true events of Roswell. But the thing is, it just seems very strange that this is in my head. And by the way, if you put a prospecting detector up to my head or a metal detector up to my forehead, it goes off. Yet it doesn't appear in the actual X-rays. It only appears in CT scans, to where they're looking inside the brain. I have another one on my face near my nose, which actually does appear in an X-ray, and it's like a little cross-type thing. And the thing is, to me, I wouldn't risk having it taken out. But you can actually see that there's no damage to the bone, or like I can't find any damage to the bone. It's a 6 millimeter object in length, and about 3 mil. I think they said about 3 millimeters in, or I can't actually know. I don't know whether it was 6 millimeters in. No, 6 millimeters in length, 3 millimeters in diameter. So it is only a very, very small object, but it's in my brain. But I reckon it's bigger. Like looking at my head, knowing my head I know how big my head is, And to me, that's bigger than 6 millimetres. That, I reckon that'd be close to at least 1.5 centimetres, maybe bigger. So yeah, it's quite freaky to have. I've never released this video up until now because I haven't actually been up to find the scans. Unfortunately, I was one of the flood victims of June 2007, and unfortunately all my x-rays and everything got packed away in storage, and I haven't been able to find them for some time. And I found them the other day. And yeah, so what I'm doing, I'm producing this video so that others out there that believe they do have implants, you're not alone. Here is the physical evidence. And I'll give you a tip: if you do put your x-rays up onto YouTube, folks, remove the medical numbers off the x-rays as well as your date of birth. You'll notice in the x-rays there's sections in the writing sections that have been erased out because that's where my birth date was, and also my medical number for the x-rays. Because people could use those, ring up and say, yeah, this is me, here's I had a scan done, this was the scan number. Yeah, and they could use that data against you and steal your identity. So I do everything to protect my identity. But as you can see there, this is an ovaloid object. It's right between the frontal lobes of my brain. How in the hell did they put it in there without damaging it? They would have to be the most skilled surgeons to put an object between the two frontal lobes without damaging the brain. But it's in the perfect spot to put, between the two frontal lobes. But notice on those two scans there that you can see that there's nerves running to it. Or whether they, oh, actually no, they might be the hollows. Yeah, that looks like the sections of the brain. And it looks like it's placed, just placed between the two, and that is the secondary one. But it is right on the nerve right on the end of a nerve or an object. Now that one I don't know how they got in there because that one's a hell of a lot deeper, and that is actually a hell of a lot deeper. Where this one is actually just between the two frontal lobes. But you can see, I don't know whether I'd say that is between the two lobes. But how they got it in there, that one's got me bewildered. But the thing is, guys, if you do have something like this and you're afraid that people are going to say something, yeah, at least go and get it looked at, get it examined. And if doctors don't believe that this sort of stuff happens, it's taken my doctor a long time to come around and actually start believing that this could be true. And she now actually asks me on a regular basis, have I had any more experiences? Because she has started to notice these other scars appearing. And she just automatically says, oh, did you hurt yourself? And I said, no, it's sort of, I had another experience or another dream. And so she talks to me about what I dreamt about. And at first she thought I was a little bit nuts about it. But after seeing physical evidence, let's just say she doesn't believe I'm nuts anymore, and she's quite into questioning me about it. So good luck, everybody. And yeah, if you've got one, do something about it. Put it out there.